Hello and welcome back to another episode of In the Driver's Seat with me, Maddie. Today I'm joined with Jack Doran from Crown Business Finance. How are you, Jack?
I'm good, thank you. Not bad. Yourself?
Yeah, really good, thank you.
Good.
Thank you for coming on today.
You're most welcome. Thank you for having me.
That's very good. So, I've seen you've got a few nice vehicles. I've seen what you've pulled up today, and tell me a little bit about that.
Well, you've thrown me right in the deep end there, haven't you?
I have.
So some of those vehicles I don't have anymore, but today I turned up in I've got Porsche Taycan.
Amazing.
So for the geeks out there, if they're really bothered, a Taycan Turbo, not the Turbo S. So I've let myself down there, haven't I? Taycan Turbo is nice. I'm sure you're probably going to want to get onto electric cars soon, I'd imagine. But it's a nice car.
Amazing, love it. So can you remember what your very first car was?
Yes, I do. And actually, this is a public announcement. If anyone has it, I want it back.
Okay.
SD04 XFL Vauxhall Corsa.
Okay.
1 litre.
Right.
Because my dad didn't trust me to drive anything more powerful.
Okay.
Black, 5 doors. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I thought I was the bee's knees because it had alloy wheels. Which at 17 years old, if you have alloy wheels over hubcaps, that is like elite level status at school. Yeah. So I love that car. That was my first car.
Oh, amazing. So obviously we're in 2025 now. There's so many new innovations. I mean, I bet your Porsche is completely kitted out. What are your top 3 things you would look for in a new vehicle when you're purchasing or leasing a vehicle?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I was watching a few of the other episodes to try and get some tips and tricks. It depends really if it's a daily car or sort of a weekend toy. But for me, if it's sort of daily, I'm a bit what's the word? I'm a bit pandered to. What's the word? A bit of a prima donna, I suppose you can call it. Okay. Like a heated steering wheel.
Yeah, nice.
Massage sheets are nice. I like a massage sheet when I'm on way to work. Definitely. There would be essentials and CarPlay, Apple CarPlay, which I know is old school, but I'm not too fancy in that respect. I like just the simple stuff like that.
And it's nice, especially because I'm in so many different cars. I mean, like today, I've already driven 4 different vehicles.
Yeah.
But the amount of the ones that don't have CarPlay in,
really?
It's just like, oh, come on, please. Because it just makes it so much easier. And then, I mean, Helen mentioned last week about the voice recognition. So you can use Siri to say, oh, call.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
No.
It's not a bit of me.
No.
I'm quite happy just to quick touch on the screen.
Yeah, no phone.
That'll do me. No phone.
No
definitely
phone.
not. No.
Don't use your phones. So, favourite feature or innovation of all time on a vehicle?
I quite like the automatic headlights.
Yes. No one's said them yet.
I'm a bit of a fan of those.
I love them.
When I'm driving, I like to drive, but I also like to relax when I'm driving. Yeah. So, the business of a day, about to go home to my wife and my little girl is 3. That's also crazy. So that 45 minutes having the car between the office and home is nice to relax and unwind.
Definitely.
And flashing and changing the lights is just that one extra thing I don't need in my life.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh, I completely agree. So have you mentioned about obviously your Porsche? So what is your opinion on the electric vehicles? Are you happy with the shift from a petrol or diesel equivalent? Would you go back to a petrol or diesel?
I would, yeah. I like petrol cars, diesel cars even. So wife has a diesel car. We've obviously had petrol cars in the past. I like electric, from a business perspective, it makes sense with, depreciation and the benefit in kind, which is a massive plus. Also the charging, I'm literally back from the office and home every day. I don't really do a ton of traveling, so I don't get range anxiety or anything like that. Good. We spoke earlier, pre-recording about the boring stuff around tariffs on electricity, which actually probably is an Apertus group sort of. I bet you love that sort of stuff.
We do. That's
the energy
John
charity.
Question.
John question.
John question.
But so with the night tariff, I'm spending about 40 quid a month to charge the car, which is great. Outside of that, it's a bit soulless, I guess you could say. An electric, it's obviously super quick, the Porsche, but it's a bit boring.
It's the instant power, isn't it, that I love.
Yeah, it is.
Would you say you miss the sound of an engine?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I like the power. I like the speed, but the fun thing about speed is the noise, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And the tyres are expensive because of the torque.
Yes.
You just burn through the tyres.
Exactly.
But
and they're so big on the Porsche as well. Those tyres, they're thick.
Yeah, they're killer, those tyres. I don't know how much they are. I think they're like 450 quid a tyre, something ridiculous like that.
Thank you. No, thank you.
No.
What's the range like on that?
Pretty awful, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, when we talk about modern, electric cars nowadays, I think Toby, my business partner, just got a Tesla, and so did actually George, one of our lads. The model, Y, is it?
Okay. So the big...
I think the range on those is sort of north of 400 miles, which is amazing. The Porsche really, when it's fully charged in the summer, about 210. In winter, about 190. And then the second you, well, obviously you don't go over the speed limit, but the second you go 70 on the motorway, the range falls down pretty quickly.
And even so, I had an electric Fiat 500 for
did you?
bit, for like 2 or 3 months.
How did you find it? Did you like it?
I did like it, but
Okay.
the maximum range was like 180 miles.
I've seen on like the Mini Coopers as well. They have the same. Yeah.
And then as soon as like I turned the music up and the range would just drop instantly, or turn the lights on, put the windscreen wipers on. Went to London one day, drove around the whole of the M25, I think, that day. And I think I charged 4 times.
Eesh.
It was just crazy. And it was chucking it down with rain as well. So that just made the range drop increasingly as well. So just not good.
What's your thoughts then?
On electric
You were
vehicles.
the ones asking questions,
I
yeah.
know,
What do you think?
So I think the benefit in kind, like with tax for businesses, fantastic.
Yeah.
Myself, I enjoyed having the electric vehicle. If there was a bigger range on it, it would have been beneficial.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a Q8 e-tron on fleet. That's with a customer. That's got
nice.
a range of about 300 miles. So yeah, really nice car, but I definitely did miss the sound of the engine.
Yeah.
And I don't have a charger at home either, so I was using like a trickle charger.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I'd spend about £100 a month on the charge. So going to like BP Pulse and Tesla, you can become a member and then get the lower kilowatt per hour rate.
Yeah.
So that was quite...
That's true, actually. I think the guys who just got the Teslas, they get like a whole year of charging for free with Tesla, which is pretty cool. On the point of noise, the Porsches do have the fake sound, which I despise.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously at risk here of coming across as a right idiot.
Yes.
So I'm sure the marketing people have a meltdown, me talking about not liking the noise in the fake noise in the Porsche. But it's the truth. It's awful. I don't know why they put that as in the feature. This weird whistling sound. Get rid of it. Turn
Does
it
it
off.
play through the speakers?
Yeah, awful.
Oh.
Turn it off. Thankfully, it's one of those where you don't have to turn it off every day.
Okay, that's
Once you
good.
turn it off, it's just off.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
So do you go on many like road trips? Have you in the past? Where have you been? Anywhere exciting?
No, not really. For me, you know, when I watched you ask a previous question about road trips, I've never really done, you know, the windy roads for Italy or anything like that, or up in the Highlands. So I've never really done a road trip as that. I think for me, what makes a road trip or like a memorable road trip is more so the people I'm with.
Yeah.
Rather than rather than the car I'm in. Maybe I say that because I've never done an Italian hills in a V12 Ferrari or something like that. But you know, like last year we went down. A couple of examples, went down to Cornwall last year just for a quick weekend over Easter with my wife and daughter, and that was nice. Daughter was in the back with Peppa Pig on blast for 5 hours straight. She loved it. She was loaded up with Freddo Frogs and Peppa Pig, and that was nice. You know that you know from a road trip perspective, that memory of just having 5 hours, not thinking about work, chatting to Danielle, my wife, was lovely. And then Saturday, for example, going down to Cheltenham races.
Amazing.
Thankfully, in a minibus we financed, which was cool. One of our clients, music's blaring, drinks are flowing, bit of Blue All Rise all the way through to, I don't know, No Diggity, something like that. Having fun. So to me, that's a fun road trip with the people I'm with.
Yeah, 100%. So have you got a dream or an ultimate vehicle? If so, what would you say that is?
I do. Obviously, we're speaking earlier, I've sort of been lucky enough to have one of my dream cars.
Okay, what was that?
In the R8.
Oh, amazing.
Which was nice. So we had that a couple of years ago, which was really nice. Obviously, that was a nice goal of mine to have when I sort of was a younger kid.
Yeah.
Wanted to have a supercar. I'm sure some purists out there would probably say it's not a good enough supercar.
I'd say it's a supercar.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the V10 ones, you know, the new one. So, I mean, it's fully kitted out, nice, all blacked out, which I like.
Nice, yeah.
So that was cool. And then outside of that, sort of next goal, once I overcome the hurdle of nursery fees with 2 kids, come July. For me, we were joking in the office when they were asking me what I would say. For me, the dream car is an 812 Superfast.
Oh, amazing.
Probably a GTS as well.
Yes.
Roof down, because let's be honest, if you're showing off, you may as well have the roof down, right? Because who else is buying an 812 for anything other than showing off, right? And the noise.
Yeah.
So probably, exactly, right? So probably an 812 for me would be the dream.
Yeah, definitely. So if you could only drive one vehicle for the rest of your life, what would that be?
Or an 812 wouldn't really work in winter.
No, that is.
I would probably just go to that off the bat.
Yeah.
But we have to think that we do live in England and it rains.
Yeah.
70% of the time at least. So an everyday car, recently we've been talking about them. I was never a huge fan, but a friend's just got one. I'd probably say the new Urus Lamborghini, because I've got to think with my dad hat on.
Yes.
Bit of boot space, kids in the back, plus I can have some fun.
Yes.
It's got that anyone who's spending north of £250,000 on a car is not just buying it for the driving performance. No. They're also buying it for a certain element of ego. So we have to think about that as well when we're thinking about these things.
Yeah.
So probably a Urus, but I probably would go stealth.
Okay.
No bright colours.
No, I get that. Like a Batmobile.
Yeah, you want to be under the radar in a really loud, obnoxious car like a Urus.
100%. So you're on a road trip.
Yeah.
4 seats to fill. Who are you going to fill those seats with?
Okay, what sort of vibe are we going for?
Any vibe you like.
Okay.
It's hard.
Okay, well, so that the locks aren't changed on my house before I go home.
Okay.
My wife and my current daughter and my soon-to-be other daughter in July.
Congratulations.
Now, if we go into the real road trip, then I don't know. Again, I'm going to get in trouble with my mates if I only pick 4 of them. But I've got to go with Jake and Toby, my business partners.
Okay, amazing.
So they're like my best mates. So definitely those 2. And then who would I let scrap over the final seat in the back? It could be any of them, but just one of my mates, to be honest. Yeah, they're all good lads. I don't know if you wanted celebrities in that question. I'm not sure. I don't know who I'd take.
No, it is a hard question because it's like, what sort of vibe would you go for? Is it chilled or a good old singing one?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're going skiing in March.
Oh, amazing.
So if I was thinking about skiing, I'm starting to think après ski, then maybe I'd up the ante. Maybe not Jake and Toby. Maybe I'm thinking, Bill Gates and Elon Musk might be just for the bank card.
Yeah.
So I can have a good time.
Free drinks.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Jack, for being on today.
No problem at all.
Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.